A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
We haven't talked COVID in how long on this show?
It's been a while.
Other than maybe a sports update saying 4 NHL games were postponed last night or something like that due to COVID.
How about that?
If sports isn't going, it sucks. But I'm saying let's not get used to this. Back to sports. Stick to sports, Pedersen. Shut up and dribble.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
That is a wonderful way. How about that?
How about that?
To start a brand new week. It's the RP Show, everybody, and I'm just sharing the show, going through my feed. I've been very active on Twitter today, as it turns out. Happy International Women's Day, by the way. We've got two of our great friends from the world of sport, Hanna from CTV TSN, and Allison Sandmeyer-Graves, the CEO of Canadian Women in Sport. Both have been on this program before. They'll be joining us to talk women in sport. That's what's going on there. How was your weekend?
Amazing.
Okay. Good to hear. We're going to jump into the quick six show topics here. Please, Director Jordan. Busy morning for that kid, too. Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
On video Zoom calls. Do you want to announce to the world that we have a new person that has joined the show today?
Nelson.
Why not?
Yeah. Welcome to the team.
Another Nelson. Not the Nelson that you think. Not the VP of Sim Events. It's another Nelson.
Yeah.
Tell the folks about it.
Our contact list is only so big, so if your name's not Nelson or Alan or we've got a few, Paul, right? But no, we're expanding our team, so you'll start seeing that name bounce around a little bit. Nelson's joining us.
And you'll see his content as well.
Oh, yeah.
I want to point this out. Trevor Bazillo's watching in Winnipeg. He says, brutal showing for my Jets on Saturday. It happens, I guess. What did it end up? 5-1, I think they got clubbed by the Montreal Canadiens. Was it 7-1?
Yeah.
I changed the channel. I didn't watch the end of it. But it's in my leftovers, and that's point one. Our weekend NHL leftovers. For some reason, I wrote NFL leftovers. Watching the Flames last night. Matt Stajan, very good analyst. Very good analyst. I don't know why they need so many on Sportsnet Flames, but he's a good one. And he said, for the Sutter-led Flames, this is it. This is it. And what does he mean by that? This is it. It means ship up or shape out. The rebuild will start after this. Because let's not forget, we all thought, I think a lot of ways you thought, all they needed to go was a goalie. And they went and got Jacob Markstrom, one of the best in the business, the number one free agent goalie out there. And now this. And it was on my Cat Country commentary this morning, Cat Country 98 FM. I went to bed last night thinking maybe the Flames just aren't that good. But I don't want to believe it. Sorry, I had high hopes for you guys. I thought more of you. But Daryl Sutter has not coached a game yet, and let's wait until he does. He hasn't even joined the team yet.
I know.
So this is it, Calgary. Rubber meets the road time. How do you respond? Point 2, Taylor versus Tyler. Do you remember that?
I know.
Obama was president when that was going on. That was 2 presidents ago.
Crazy.
Taylor versus Tyler. I had to go back and look. It was the 2010 NHL draft. And to this day, who would you take? Have we ever answered Taylor versus Tyler?
No, and I don't think you can.
Haven't.
I don't think you can. I think Tyler Seguin, ton of experience, great player, but so is Taylor Hall, and he's been put in some tough situations too. I don't know who
Just
you take.
saying, I don't think 11 years later we've even answered the question, Taylor versus Tyler.
We haven't.
That's it.
We haven't.
We got Joseph David writing in. He's a Senators podcaster. He says, Stützle undressing Markstrom. Tim Stützle looks like he's been playing in the league for 5 years. This guy's unbelievable. Tim Stützle, Rookie of the Year. Let's go. Give it to him.
Amazing.
Another NHL leftover from the weekend. Texas is wide open. American Airlines Arena was empty in Dallas. They're not 100%. They're not back.
No.
Just pointing that out. Connor Murphy's hit, I thought, was clean from the Chicago Blackhawks. Caught the guy coming around the net with his head down. Wango. Sorry. And the Tom Wilson suspension of 7 games is a little harsh, but we're talking about a repeat offender here. I don't care what they're saying in the NHL office. We all know who we're dealing with here. 7 games is right on. And then my 5th leftover is for Trevor in Winnipeg. The Jets just got to shake off the Habs loss. Spit happens. And while I said every Jets game is exciting, that was the exception that proves the rule. They were ruby red awful the other night. Okay, moving on. I'll just say this. NFL's fake news. For our American viewers, you're watching this because you get it. Every single morning on ESPN, Get Up, and then First Take, it's will Dak Prescott sign long-term with the Cowboys? Where's Russell Wilson going? I'm like, how long can you drag out news with Russell Wilson that's not even news when his agent comes out on Sunday and says he doesn't even want to be traded? I'm tired of it. They're never going to talk NHL. I get that. That's for us and the Canadian networks. But this is all fake news in the NFL. Spend more time on what J.J. Watt's going to do with the Arizona Cardinals. But no, it's all Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson, and I don't get it. Point 3, it was a massive sports Sunday. I mean massive. Brain overload. Sensory overload. And I was telling my wife, who she's not in town right now, she said, what are you doing? And I said, I tried to watch a Dateline marathon, but I couldn't. Or I should have at least turned my phone off because it's like all this, everything's happening. Oprah, Meghan, Harry, NHL, PGA, Briar, which led to my poll question. You saw I put it up last night from the show feed. What are you watching tonight? And the Briar won. The Briar. Yeah. But I did flip it over to Oprah for a little while. Like I need an Oprah special to find out that the royal family screwed up. So it didn't. I didn't stay there for very long. That was point 4. The Briar won the poll. It was amazing. And a lot of people write in and say AEW wrestling, which initially I thought they were talking about A&W. I don't know. Maybe we need to do a pro wrestling segment on here because I know that's very big. Sean at Game Plus, who's probably working in the control room right now in downtown Toronto, he said he's watching this AEW. I wrote him. I said, what channel, dude? He's like, it's pay-per-view. I'm already paying $12 a month for the WWE channel, which I never watch anyways. I'm not paying a pay-per-view for AEW.
Right.
Not when Meghan Markle's on. Point 5, NBA All-Star Game. Should they have played? Why are we even talking about this should the NBA have played an all-star game? They did it safely. They pulled it off. It wasn't for me. I tuned in. As they said, it was a made-for-TV event. Can you not just play basketball? Why do you got to do all these things? But outside the game, you know? But they did the three-point. They did the dunk contest. They did the game itself all in one day. They pulled it off. And for anybody that says sports shouldn't be playing, let me guess, have you missed a paycheck in the last year? My guess is you haven't. So zip it. Or thanks for your opinion, but we're going to try to play. Okay? You do you, we'll do us. Because I don't think it affects you whether the NBA plays or the WHL or the NHL or whatever. Stuff it. I'm tired of it. Point 6, WHL returned to play this Friday night. The broadcast schedule of God's team, the Regina Pats, is going to be announced at noon SAS time by Access Television. Friday night, Pats and the Prince Albert Raiders get after it, and we're ready to go. And on Sunday, I had lunch with our beat writer for the Moose Jaw Warriors, Jamie Neugebauer. Did you see he wrote an article on the Warriors, and they have their own 15-year-old wonder kid that they're putting up against Connor Bedard, the holy child here, the first ever. He's the next Connor McDavid, they say. The next John Tavares plays for the Regina Pats. And I'll just point this out. Nugsy said, didn't take much to get the rivalry going. It's like waving a match over a tank of gasoline.
Yeah.
That's how much the Pats and Warriors hate each other. Let's go!
And that's exactly what the league needs. That's what sports needs. Somebody to come out and say, our guy's better. That's it. That's all it took.
That's all it took. Taylor versus Tyler, Connor versus Yags. Couple other things here. Rockstar of the Day was John Frenzy on Friday. We might just rename that the John Frenzy Award. I'm calling up the poll question today, which producer Clark came up with. For Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, who will finish better after their coaching change? The Calgary Flames or the Montreal Canadiens? 69% of respondents on Twitter are saying, Les Habitants. Bleu, blanc, rouge. That's French. Montreal. What are they saying on Facebook, guys? Do you have a... It's not working. There's some bugs right now, Clark says. Hang on for that. The whopping majority on Twitter saying the Montreal Canadiens will win it. So that's the poll. That's the rock star of the day. And I want to also say this. I spent most of the weekend on the phone dealing with this Bernie Lynch situation. I spoke with the writer of the CBC article, Jonathan Gatehouse, about the Junior A coach in Fort Francis, Ontario, that's been suspended for indefinitely for inappropriate communication with a player. I went on a monologue, and you acquitted yourself very well on Friday with that. Your thoughts on the whole thing. So I know now they're watching us clearly in Fort Francis, Ontario, because we had show mail come in from people out there, and they said, we take issue with you saying that the team covered it up. The Flyers covered up this suspension of the coach. I'll say, one, I didn't say the team covered it up. CBC said they covered it up. I read the article. Okay, I was quoting the article. I don't know much more about it. So there's that. Another guy says, Rod, I'm in Fort Francis, Ontario. Give me a call. Didn't leave his phone number. You saw that email. He didn't leave the phone number. And this is how this stuff works. Oh, I emailed that Pedersen guy. He told him to call me. He never called me. You never left your phone number. So I will guarantee you that I will call you if you leave your phone number, if you want to talk about the Bernie Lynch situation and I guess defend the team's stance in this and how or why you hired him. But if you want to get in a fight with me over this, pack a lunch, because I have an infinite amount of experience dealing with Junior A community boards. Okay? And I'm not having it anymore dealing with teams that are blaming their own mistakes and their own dirty deeds on the media, or specifically me. Not having it. So I'll say again, if you want to have a fight over this, pack a lunch. But I spoke with alleged victims over the weekend. I think we've got up to 8 in this city alone that have a story to tell, at least one of which is going to participate in the Hockey Canada investigation into one Bernie Lynch. So don't come after me. Look in the mirror. So I know that's some very heavy stuff there, Darren.
Yeah.
Sorry to lob it over to you from there, but that's a lot's been weighing on my mind the last few days.
Yeah, and the hardest thing I think for somebody to do is admit they made a mistake and say, look, I was wrong. Put your tail between your legs, right? And you always want to say, but this, but here's all these reasons why what I did was okay. Well, sometimes what you do is not okay, right? And hiring this guy is not okay, right? I mean, do your due diligence. You have to find something. And I know he's got a clean record, right?
Yep.
And he's had success coaching. Otherwise, you wouldn't continue coaching. Wins and losses, right? But there's more to it than that. And if you didn't know any of it, it doesn't mean you knew the information back then, but you can admit you made a mistake or look at it. And I understand why we talked about this on Friday. This isn't anything new, why you would cover it up. Like I said, I understood why you would, because, you don't want that black mark on your name, but you do want this guy out. You wouldn't suspend him or remove him from the program if you didn't want to get rid of him and didn't think what he did, was horrible. But I understand why you wouldn't want that negative pub on your program. You don't want to be the program forever tied to Bernie Lynch, right? But you just have to own it. At the end of the day, just own it, and everybody forgives you.
I want to call those people in Fort Francis, Ontario. I want to have the discussion. Listen, the team's not going to send out a news release and say, we've suspended our coach because he did this. I understand all that. Trust me, I do. But with regards to hiring Bernie Lynch, this is why. Do you have a hockey guy on your board? Like Fort Francis, Ontario is a long way from here, which I think this is the province where Bernie's from. At least this is where he first came on my radar with the Humboldt Broncos and the Regina Pats. But have somebody on your board that has a little bit of hockey sense. Not a bunch of community business people, which, by the way, is fine, doesn't get a lot accomplished. A lot of people that think they're Jerry Jones or Scotty Bowman have no business running a hockey team or hiring a coach and a GM. I'm not saying that's your situation, but it's very common. Okay? So from some of our viewers, Stephen Ronald Jacobson in North Dakota, he says, Monday rant, caliber 16-ounce media knockdown. When are we doing that Great Western thing?
It's coming.
Is it coming?
Yeah.
So is Christmas. John Kirby in Edmonton says 2 rants in 12 minutes. The rants are for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Mention the Rod Pedersen Show and get 10% off. We love Bronco Plumbing and Heating. They are family, literally. Anyways, it's International Women's Day. This was my portion to get things off my chest. Clara Hanna coming up next from CTV TSN. Can't wait. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and listen live 24-hour sports talk at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is episode number 437 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. And today is International Women's Day, #ChooseToChallenge. And we bring in what's become a good friend of ours. I'd like to say a longtime friend, but not that long, because I'm old, she's not. Claire Hanna from CTV TSN Bell Media joins us. Happy International Women's Day, Claire. How's it been for you?
Well, I'm only a couple hours into it, but I'm loving seeing the tweets. Tara Sloan had an awesome tweet just talking about let's empower, let's champion, let's raise up women. And I mean, I'm going to challenge you right now because I'm looking at those bobbleheads, Rod, and I don't see a single female athlete.
Have you seen a female athlete bobblehead?
Yeah, I've got Brooke Henderson right here.
Okay, ship it over next time you come in. These are all gifts, so don't hold it against us. If anybody wants to give us a female bobblehead, that it will have prime space. Claire, look, we were talking about women in sport, women in sports broadcasting, and you're our leadoff guest in that regard today. Do you feel like a bit of a trailblazer in a way, or an idol for young girls that want to get into this field?
I definitely do not feel like a trailblazer because there's been so many ahead of me. And I think now, even Rod, probably compared to when you started in broadcasting, we see so much visual representation of women in broadcasting. I would like to see more BIPOC women, Black, Indigenous, people of color, more people with disabilities as well. Like, I think there needs to be representation in a lot of ways for women. But I do not consider myself a trailblazer. I don't like to think about being an icon or something that women look up to because I think that we should be able to look up to anybody. But I do realize, again, that representation on television or radio or in print really matters. So, but I'm just going to do my job the best I can. I don't think of myself as a woman in broadcasting. I just think of myself as a sports broadcaster or a sports reporter. And I just want to cover the stories the best I can. Features, provide the best in detail updates I can on this job.
Well, you do a tremendous job of it, and I'm going to just talk about the start of your career in a moment, but I mean, you've been at this long enough that I would think when you did your first TSN CFL game on the sidelines, that must have been quite a I made it moment. I would hope it is. What was that moment? What do you remember?
It was, oh man, it was emotional, Rod. It was like, I feel emotional again thinking about it because it was a goal I'd set probably 5 years previously in broadcasting. And when you first get into it, maybe you're growing up and you first think about being in broadcasting, you don't really know how to visualize yourself in that medium. And I did to be a sideline reporter because of my background as an athlete. I wanted to be involved in the action, talking to the athletes, feeling what they were feeling on the field, court, arena, wherever. And so that first time on TSN was, I tried to have a few moments where I just sat back and reflected, like, oh my gosh, you're on the sidelines right now. You're telling these stories. You're going back and forth with Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter. Like, soak it in. But I was also really just focused on, no, you've got a job to do. Make sure you're listening to what the coaches are saying. See how much extra detail you might be able to provide. Oh my gosh, is there an athlete injured? You kind of want to enjoy the moment, but you're also still really focused on doing your job well, because if I didn't do my job well, I might not be invited back. But how did I feel that day? I don't know if I've said this on this show, but I was so nervous before that my legs turned to jelly. And I know that's a figure of speech, but I could not, at the very beginning of the game, this was before kickoff, but I think the national anthem was playing and I was trying to make it over to the sidelines, kind of my area where I'd stand, and my legs just didn't function. I'm like, come on, left in front of left, right, like get going. And I kind of had some self-talk. I'm like, Claire, let's go, let's do this. And then my phone buzzed and I had an email from one of the VPs at TSN. Be great. Like, that was a big email. Just those two words, just be great. They're watching. And that's what I was just like, okay, just do this. You've done this before, maybe on smaller networks. You can do it.
Well, that is very exciting. And yeah, this isn't a day for my stories, but I remember my first game. I was too nervous. What should I say? I didn't get caught up in the moment because I was too nervous of not wanting to screw up. Same thing as you, right? But nobody was looking at me, right? It was on the radio. But let me ask you this. What people don't necessarily know, they might know if they follow your Twitter bio, is that we're a national level volleyball player. So in the biggest game of your life, compare that nervousness, if there was any, to that opportunity doing the sidelines for the first time on TSN.
Almost identical, Rod. And I'm really happy you brought that up. I think about the first time I stepped on the court with UBC. I was so nervous. I actually couldn't eat all day. I remember I could have breakfast, but then when it came to lunch, I just couldn't stomach it. It wasn't like I was throwing up, but I just had like no appetite because I was so nervous. And that was the same thing as the CFL on TSN. I think the game was a 7:00 game and I had breakfast, but then I was having a really hard time eating lunch. And even on the sidelines, I always bring snacks like carrot stick, things like that. Granola bars that I can just have for a quick meal, and I couldn't stomach any of it. I was so nervous. But back to the volleyball thing, what was similar is you're really nervous before the game or the moment, but then the minute there was the first serve for us in volleyball and I made my first pass or I got my first dig out of the way, boom, here we are. It's like any practice, any game I've done before. It's the same thing. You've rehearsed, you've trained, you've practiced for this. I had, on TSN, I'd gone over my stories. I knew what I wanted to say. You just kind of start flowing. But even though the moment feels a lot bigger, there's more adrenaline, I'd say, pumping through your veins. And each time after got easier, and you work into it.
So it was a bit of a trick question because, as you know, in my career as a recovery coach, I deal in this stuff all the time. So what the viewers should know is stress is stress. So whether you're a CFL on TSN analyst or a volleyball player or the president of an oil company or a 12-year-old going in to write a test, the feelings are all the same. Stress is stress, right? So that's an interesting thing about that. So let me ask you this now. As a female reporter, you would know what it's like to be a male reporter, but how are you treated on the sports scene by the subjects that you're interviewing and being around?
You know what, Rod? I don't think I'm treated differently, and I don't perceive that I'm treated differently. I ask similar questions. I get similar reactions. I've never focused on that. If anything, Rod, okay, there's one example I can think of, but it wasn't so much being treated differently in the moment. I was setting up it was like a tennis shoot, and this wasn't at my current job. And at the time, there was an intern at our station who was a male, and he was working with me a lot. And I set up this shoot, but when we actually got to the tennis tournament, it was like a different contact. And myself, this intern, and our camera person, like, we're trying to figure out where where the contact was. And when we found the contact, they just started talking to the intern like that was. They didn't think I was the sports reporter. They just assumed it was the dude. And so that sort of was just a piss off, because I'm like, come on, it's me. But then in the way stories are told, this is where I think that we need to work on. When I was a volleyball player at UBC, we were playing in Kamloops, and there was always double headers. So the women would play and then the men would play, or vice versa. Typically the women played first. So we just finished, we'd like stomped Thompson Rivers at this point. And then the announcer came over the microphone and was like, okay, that was, UBC beat Thompson Rivers 3-1. And now it's time for the main event. And I was like, what? The main event? And then I went up to the announcer. I'm like, if the men are the main event, what were we? Were we the appetizers? Like, what does that define us as? He was super ashamed. He apologized. And then I ran into him 5 years later, and he came up to me, and I'm like, I've never forgotten that moment, because I didn't realize what I'd done. And I felt so bad, because there's no reason your game wasn't as equal to the men. But those are the things that really bug me in the way of how we interpret men's versus women's sports.
That's kind of why this day, one of the things that's important about this day is changing attitudes, changing dialogue, and all of that. And that's why I also think it's important to get you on the show, because to reflect your personality and your story. Because when we're watching the CTV Supper News, it's the Claire Hanna report or a 30-second hit on the sidelines at a Rider game. That's not you, that's the report. You know what I mean? So you've got an interesting story and you got an interesting take on things. Now, do you mind if we switch gears and talk about what's going on in sports right now?
Well, no, we can, but I want to challenge you one really briefly here, Rod, because I've always challenged my counterparts, and I ask you, like, do you think you're doing enough to cover women's sports? Do you think your guests or the stories you talk about reflect women enough? And
I think
you don't have to answer that, but just I want to challenge you.
I think about it all the time, but here's my take on that. The sports that I watched, go out and look at the percentage of men to women that are on the field to play. So from the NBA All-Star game to the PGA, I'm a big Brooke Henderson fan. I was watching the LPGA. She finished tied for 44th on Sunday. So I think what would you say? The proportion of female sports to male is what our viewers want, and I'm not going to push an agenda. We talk and cover the sports that I'm interested in. So when the LPGA comes through town, we're talking. Pardon?
Sometimes I think, though, we need to do a better job of going out. Like, we just had the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association play a game in Chicago, in New York. Are we talking about that? Are we talking about Kendall Coyne being a beast? And, are we talking about that enough? Or are we talking, I know you talked about the Scotties last week, Rachel Homan curling 8 months pregnant, but just Carrie Anderson winning her back-to-back champion. Like, I know that lots of it isn't on TV, and that's something I think we need to work. We need to have more representation from our national networks airing women's sport, talking about women's sport. But until that happens, I think we all have to do a better job of seeking it out, talking about it. You've got so many followers, Rod. If you tweet about, even Emily Clark, what's she doing right now in Montreal with the Professional Women's Players Association, people are going to notice, and people are going to want that information, want to see more of it. So I think we all need to do a better job of putting women in the spotlight and challenging big networks to air more about it. I want to know their stories, and it shouldn't be so hard for me to find their stories just because they don't have a national deal with a network. Why is it so hard? That's a great question, and I think it's because for so long it's been this way. And I think we, as everybody, but especially men, need to be allies. I love seeing Connor McDavid, all these NHL players wearing those Professional Women's Hockey Players Association hoodies, because it brings light to it. I think they're allies, and I think sometimes we need to do a better job of championing women into these roles, because I don't like quotas. I don't like when it's like, within this, we need to have a certain percentage of women. But I just don't think with marketing and with visual representation, we're doing a good enough job right now. And so I know everybody's like, well, I don't think there's interest. If there was more interest, we'd see it. I think there's interest. I think that people need to catch up at this point. I looked into this in U Sports because they have a streaming service. And when you looked at the numbers of people who were streaming games, more people were actually streaming women's sports than the men's sports. So that shows me on that level that there was more of an interest in women's sports. I think the top ones were like women's soccer and women's volleyball. And that's just a small example, but I think that there is an interest, but people aren't recognizing, a place to put it right now on streaming services or even on television.
Well, the National Women's Hockey League had, 30,000 viewers on Twitch, but why wasn't it on TSN?
That's a great question. And I think that, the National Women's Hockey League and the Professional Women's Players Association, I think there's an interesting battle happening there right now with women trying to get more, they want to be compensated fairly for the product they're putting out there, and they want to have a sustainable league. I've talked to a couple of women who are part of that, including Emily Clark, and I'm not bashing what a National Women's Hockey League is doing, because it's great. There's obviously a place for women to play there right now, but they're looking for something bigger. They're looking for something more sustainable, and so it's great. And look how many viewers the National Women's Hockey League got. And they don't even have some of the best players in the world. So imagine giving the best players in the world combined with the National Women's Hockey League a place to play. Holy crap. Like, you could have truly like a NHL for women. I don't want to call it like that, because I think that the women need their own place, but let's provide a spot for them. And there's a lot of attention that's getting put on, this game at Madison Square Gardens and in Chicago with the with the Professional Women's Players Association. So I just think there's going to be a space for them. And I really want to be involved in watching it. I think I would encourage everybody to try to watch it more, so that helps put women in a place where we can watch them.
Yeah, well, I get that, but here's my thinking on that. I was never a big proponent of women's hockey until my niece became the top midget age player in the province. Sorry, U18, and she's now going to Robert Morris University, and incidentally, they won the championship on Saturday in their NCAA division. Now I'm interested because my niece is playing. I can't be awesome. interested in everything. I'm not a big soccer fan. I'm not this or fan, but I mean, I've watched women's curling my whole life, but I got more interested when I did an event with Rachel Homan last year in Paradise Hill. So I'm talking about what I'm interested in are the experiences that I've had in my life. So I don't necessarily, it's not on me to advance a movement. That's why we're having guests like you on today. But I'll go back to what your initial question was. And I say, of the sports I watch, I would say it's proportionate to the amount of females that we have on this show or guests or that kind of thing. Does that need to change? I'm not the one in charge of the broadcast agreements. So, again, this is a movement, but we can go into Bell Let's Talk. We can get into my thoughts on other minorities, other marginalized segments of society. There's a lot of people speaking up, right? It's not just women. It's not just blacks. It's not just... handicapped people deal with discrimination every single day, so that's my take on that.
I just wanted to make sure, you think you're doing what you should to elevate women's voices on your show, because you've got a platform.
Do I think we are? Well, you're here, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I just want to challenge you in the future for that. That's all.
What more should we do?
No, I think you're having guests on. That's great. And I just continue to do that. Make sure it's International Women's Day. I like talking about this. I like talking about the Scotties, and I like talking about the Brier too. I like talking about men's sports and women's sports. That's all. I just challenge people continuously. There was a few years ago, it was a Winnipeg reporter who was in town. We went for coffee, and the Canada Summer Games were coming up and they were being hosted in Winnipeg. And I said, you know what? I just want to challenge you. Make sure you cover some women's events, because I think we see a lot of men. And he wrote me after and he's like, what you said, I thought about it. And I tried to get out to more women's events than I did before you said that. So I'm just trying to say to people, consider it, think about it, make sure it's in the back of your head, because if it's not said, I don't think it's going to get done as much as it should.
Oh, excellent. Okay, Claire, thank you for the time, and we will see you on the, in the immediate future here on the WHL Road, but I appreciate this. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Rod.
CTV TSN's Claire Hanna. We'll be right back with a sports update. Dupes will be back here in the bunker. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Lots of reaction to the Claire Hanna interview. And I got a sports update coming up here. From Brian Eitenauer says, wow, great interview with Claire. She ain't afraid to speak up. From Jeff, the Stamps fan, this may be unpopular, but the task is on women's sports to compel the public to want to watch it more. Do that, and the networks will absolutely follow. It's that simple. It's not a women's rights issue at all. Brian Warishan, well said, Claire. Very valid points. We can all do better, including media. Too often we care about viewership. There are great women's sports stories out there that should have the attention of sports fans. Glenn is watching in Tallahassee, Florida. Why did Claire challenge Rod? He has women guests on all the time. Challenge him? Pointing out an issue where there is no issue. Weird. Well, I don't know. Clark was telling me, I think she was just challenging you to talk more sports, not saying you don't, or women's sports, not saying you don't talk enough women's sports. I don't know. What did I say in the warm-up? Pack a lunch. I think it's this pink drink I've been drinking. It's made me punchy.
You're a little punchy.
A little edgy. But the thing with Claire is we've got a really good relationship, and I knew that we could go back and forth like that, and nobody's going to run away, upset, or mad. Where were you on that? You said you were uncomfortable watching that.
No, of course. Yeah, I mean, I was obviously joking, but it's fun. It's conversations that need to happen, though, right? And we need to have those conversations. And whenever it's not equal, which we know it's not, right? The coverage and everything else, and just sports in general, we always want to get to this point of being equal, right? And we know, women are just as talented, right? And it's not about the product on the field or the quality of the athletes. I really don't believe that. I think that it's a factor, but it's about entertainment. It's about stories.
Entertainment and in broadcasting, if I may. I learned this in school from a female instructor at Mount Royal University. Just in broadcasting, you should have a soothing, comfortable voice in broadcasting. And if it's screechy and high-pitched, and that goes for men too, maybe you're not suited for broadcasting. But I learned that in school. I don't think that's changed. You should have a comforting voice to be in broadcasting. Is that rocket science to anybody?
If you want people to listen to you for hours and hours and hours, you have to have a certain sound.
It should be right? Pleasing to the listener.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to work outside, in the field all day, you hope that the sun is shining because all those different things. But no, it's about the stories, and we need, the individual sports have to do a better job of telling the stories. But this goes for every undercovered league.
Exactly.
So this goes for junior hockey that's not getting enough coverage. This goes for other sports. If you want coverage, you have to give reason to people a reason to buy. And I go back to the Mike Tyson fight as the only reason. It was not the good fight. It was not good boxing. It was bad, but it was delicious storylines, and that's why we watch.
It was fun.
It was fun.
But I got a sports update here that I think you're going to like. But I told you that I was having lunch with Nugsy yesterday.
Yep.
And I'm going to bottom line it here for everybody. Nugsy says, well, the soccer people were wondering if you would talk soccer and if you would have people on from soccer. I said, I don't like soccer. That's it. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Where's the banner? I talk about what I like, get things off my chest. And if you don't like how many men we have on or what we are or aren't talking about, don't freaking watch. Ready for a sports update? It's this pink drink. Ricky the Iguana likes it. Drake Batherson's, I'm not talking about... Robin in Prince Albert says, I thought it was a good conversation. I was just watching and taking it in. I'm not talking about Claire. I'm talking about anybody who thinks we're not doing enough this or not doing enough that, then don't watch. We got a minute here, Ryan? I'll fit it in. Drake Batherson's shootout goal gave the Ottawa Senators a 4-3 victory over the Calgary Flames in Calgary. The Flames are 0-2 since firing Jeff Ward as coach, but Daryl Sutter has yet to join the team due to COVID protocol. In the QMJHL bubbles, Val-d'Or goalie Jonathan Lemieux made 38 saves on 39 shots in a 4-1 win over Blainville Boisbrand Armada. Samuel Richard made 35 saves on 36 shots in a 3-1 Rouyn-Noranda Huskies win over the Victoriaville Tigre. Justin Gill scored the game-winning goal with 26 seconds left in overtime to give the Sherbrooke Phoenix a 3-2 win over the Gatineau Olympique. Pierrick Dubé, Tristan Pelge, and Hendrix Lapierre each scored a goal in a 3-0 Chicoutimi win over Quebec. And Charlie De Fonseca scored twice in a 3-1 Drummondville Voltigeur win over the Rimouski Oceanic. Team LeBron defeated Team Durant 170-150 during Sunday's NBA All-Star Game in Atlanta. Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo was named the game's MVP. And it was a third-place finish for Canadian Corey Connors at the Arnold Palmer Invitational in Orlando. The 29-year-old from Listowel, Ontario, was tied for the lead during the fourth and final round, but ended up 2 over for the day. Bryson DeChambeau was the eventual winner, 3 shots ahead of Connors. And Blue Jays, remember them?
Yeah.
The Detroit Tigers defeated the Blue Jays 5-1 in spring training. Toronto righty Elvis Luciano allowed 2 hits and 3 earned runs in 20 pitches of work. He failed to register an out. The sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Saskatchewan's newest entertainment destination. Find them in the heart of the Dewdney Strip. Visit their website, ballersrecroom.com. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We will be back with Viewer Takeover, and I have a feeling it's going to be spicy. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook. And 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live. Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back to the RP Show. There's a minute of thought there. It doesn't happen often. I see that producer Clark put up in the comment section. There's a lot of people watching, up to 2.3 million on Game Plus TV right now, but we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so people are writing in with their comments on those digital platforms. And Clark asked, what is your favorite female athlete? And I was thinking of mine, because I do have I don't have to look up on the wall here. Donald Mitchell, our Navy friend, says Martina Navratilova. She was great. Chris Robinson says Christine Sinclair, Jana Hefford, Rachel Holman, Kia Nurse. Some interesting ones coming in here. Wayne in Victoria says, I have followed women's curling for years, and my favorite was Sandra Schmerler. She's classy. Most I've had a chance to meet. Brooke Henderson was just outstanding here at the CP Women's Open. Natalie Gulbis was interesting, too. I fell in love with that story. I'm like, wait a minute. I remember her from The Apprentice. So she never wins, but she's in every tournament? How does this happen? So the sponsors exemption.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way to roll. You don't have to win anything. And you get to travel around everywhere.
That's branding.
That's branding.
She's built a brand.
Yeah. Troy Colmer says, Rod, the men versus women's sports issue comes down to money. If you don't get eyeballs consuming the product, the networks and streaming services won't air it. Is it about inequality or viewers' preference? Sponsors will pay for viewers, and running a network is about business and the bottom line. There is a reason the Nielsen rating exists and coveted by networks. Higher the ratings, higher the revenue. Bingo. But it also still comes down to personal choice. I remember going to the Lingerie Football League when they had a franchise here. And but they were sending us team photos and news releases, and like they were very aggressive with their PR and their marketing. And I went, and I'm like, this is great. Because they were playing football.
I know.
Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
And then the female football team here in town that played real 12-on-12, they wrote me and they're like, well, what's the problem, Rod? Do we have to run around in a bra and panties to get you to come to our games? I don't know, maybe, but sending me out a news release telling me that you're playing on Sunday would help. Not that whole, we're opening the doors and here we are.
It's a good place
to tell people you're playing.
Good place to start. The Football League, the Lingerie League, they just missed part 2, right? Sex sells. Get you in the door, send it out. You know, they're in their underwear, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we got to go see what this is all about. But what you don't realize is that sex is easy. Like I can
sell.
I know, but it's easy sell. But I can get that anywhere. Anywhere. It's easy to find it now in today's world. So the next step is now you got to teach us who the players are, tell us the stories, and keep our attention watching. They got us in the door, but they didn't do step 2 of marketing. They put their feet up and thought sex was going to sell forever.
Speaking of the curling, this is the curling report for our friends at Verge Agriculture. 2 of the favorites in the Brier field showed last night why they're expected to be in the playoff mix again this year. Kevin Cooey's Wild Card 2 team defeated Canada's Brad Gushue 9-7 to hand the defending champions their first loss of the preliminary round. Down 1 with Hammer coming home. Cooey put the pressure on by sitting 3. Gushue was a tad heavy with his final draw, and Cooey picked it out for the victory. Every player shot at least 80% in a back-and-forth battle between longtime rivals. In other late games, Quebec's Michael Fournier beat PEI's Eddie McKenzie 10-4. Ontario's John Epping crushed Nunavut's Peter Mackey 16-1. And Nova Scotia's Scott McDonald defeated Greg Smith of Newfoundland and Labrador 11-4. The preliminary round continues through Thursday night. The top 4 teams in each pool will advance to the 2-day championship round. Our curling report is for Verge Agriculture, helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Visit vergeag.com to try out their software for free and learn more today. And lastly, from Ray in the 6, text in on the Prairie Mobile text line. Hi, Rod. Keep doing what you're doing. You have women guests on all the time. Claire was agitated today. LOL. Ray in the 416. I don't know if she was or she wasn't. We'll continue this next hour, and Allison Sandmeyer-Graves from Canada Women in Sport will join us. Stick around through the break. We'll see you on the other side on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends.
No! We haven't talked COVID in how long on this show? It's
been a while.
Other than maybe a sports update saying 4 NHL games were postponed last night or something like that due to COVID.
How about that?
If sports isn't going, it sucks. But I'm saying let's not get used to this. Back to sports. Stick to sports, Pedersen. Shut up and dribble.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Hey, coming in hot for the second half kickoff. That's just to wake everybody up in case you started to doze off watching the show, which I don't think that you did.
How could you?
No. But we're not resetting here. We're just going to delve right into the deep end. And if you are just joining us, you have missed a lot on the program today. CTV, TSN's Claire Hanna joined us in hour one to talk about International Women's Day today. Coming up this hour, Allison Sandmeyer-Graves. She's the CEO of Canada Women in Sport. She's been on this program today, and it's created a bit of a back and forth, something of a holy war, if you will. I got a little defensive. I joked when I said it's the pink drink that I'm taking from Plexus Worldwide that it's got me a little punchy, but Claire came in here and said, Rod, I want to challenge you to talk more women's sports and have more women on the air. And I said, I think we're doing just fine in that regard. And I think she said, do you think you do enough for women's sports? I said, you're on the show right now, aren't you? And then, yes, it got a little uncomfortable. That's not a thing. But Ray in Toronto said that, don't worry, Claire was agitated. Mandy has written in from Edmonton, and she says, LOL, nothing about Claire's appearance showed agitation. Ray seems to think it's funny to make a joke about a female being agitated. And then she makes some little emoji faces. Listen, There's a book about it, okay? It's men are from Venus and women are from Mars. We speak different languages. That's a thing. That's a fact. So we're all trying to get along here on this spinning ball that we're all hanging off the side of. And we're trying to acknowledge Women's Day, and it's turned into a holy war. Why am I surprised?
Shouldn't be.
I shouldn't be. So we speak different languages. There's a book about it. Doesn't mean we can't get along, but we don't always see where the other's coming from. One day out of 365, we're trying to do that. And we couldn't even do that.
I know.
Anyways, can we hit the quick 6 show topics, please? Gary Rogers is watching in Tampa. Gary, you're freaking me out with your comment here. My first was weekend NHL leftovers. And my biggest, I'm not going to go through them all right here, but the Flames fired Jeff Ward on Thursday night. They are 0-2 since. They lost by 1 goal to the Oilers Saturday night. They lost by 1 goal to Ottawa Sunday. They still haven't won. Daryl Sutter hasn't coached the team yet because he's in COVID protocol. But I really like the comment from Matt Stajan last night on the Sportsnet Flames broadcast where he said, "This is it." And I think we all know what he means by "this is it." Like, if you don't start performing now, they're going to start chucking bodies overboard. They already chucked Jeff Ward overboard. Right? That's my read on "this is it." Isn't that for you?
If this group can't win with Daryl Sutter, then this group is not going to win, and Brad Treliving is going to start to find the next group because you said it. Just needed goaltending. Well, they got goaltending. Well, defense needed a little help. They got Chris Tanev. Like, they've added to this group, and maybe there's another piece to be added or two up front, but this group is a good group. Mm-hmm. And so if Daryl Sutter can't get them together, then they're going to realize, look, we got to find the next group.
Jason in Red Deer's watching says, where did it go? I will be honest, I am not a fan of the WHL, but I am still interested in hearing what's going on when Rod talks about it. Thank you. That's what we want, right?
Also, that's branding.
Yes, and big news. The Access Now television announcing 4 minutes ago the full broadcast schedule for Regina Pats games. Me and the Moose will be broadcasting Regina Pats games on television beginning Friday night against the Prince Albert Raiders, 8 p.m. Connor Bedard versus Max Paddock. I can't tell you how excited I am. And I just retweeted it and said, glad to be back in the dub. Never wanted to leave in the first place. Hashtag LFG.
And
yes,
if you saw in there, like, they've got the app that's now being dropped.
So you can watch on the app.
So now you can watch on the app, which is going to be great too.
It's mobile.
It's mobile. So if you don't necessarily, if you're a cord cutter, that means you'll be able to get the games.
We're back in the game. Back on television, which Al Dumba, the legendary Al Dumba of the famous Dumba hockey family, said to me yesterday, the Pats fans and the Access viewers are going to be very happy to hear that you're coming back to call the games, Rod. And I just went, fingers crossed. But I just want to broadcast to my friends, Pats fans, the people that I know in all these regions. There's like 300 communities that carry the game. That's all I want. Let's do this together.
I'm tweeting it right now. I literally cut my hair for this.
Just for the announcement?
For the games. I didn't want to be in a suit with the long hair.
Wayne of Victoria says, wow, that's just being honest, Rod, when you say men and women speak different languages. LOL. It's the truth. I don't know what to say other than that. Like I said, there's a book about it. What is Jeff in the zone saying? What's up, Rod and Darren? What are your thoughts on the Vancouver Canucks sweep over the Leafs this weekend?
Sup, Jeff?
Ask him.
I think
the Leafs were tired.
He played a lot of games, but I think the Ottawa Senators have they beaten every team in Canada?
Yeah, they have to.
Right? So you lose games. Nobody's gone perfect. Yeah. And it's the National Hockey League. Every team is full of professional hockey players. And the Canucks, let me remind you, I picked to finish number 1.
Yes, you did.
So,
and who picked Calgary? This idiot right here. Me. I'm pointing at myself for our listeners right now. Speaking of Calgary, Zach Nelson in Calgary's watching. He says, so are Rod and Darren calling all the games this year? We're calling all the Pats games. Put the camera on him. We're dancing. We're celebrating in here. Woohoo! Yes, we're back in the game. Who's the guy that sings? I don't like him. The country music singer. We back. Jason Aldean. I don't like him, but it's a good song.
Yeah.
Hey, Spencer, our producer from Access watching, says all thumbs up. Thank you, Spence. I'm getting all hung up on point 1 here in the WHL announcement. Point 2, NFL fake news. Darren, it does go a little too far. I was saying this morning, an hour ago, again today, on ESPN Get Up, the topic was Dak Prescott. Is he going to sign? Thank God tomorrow's the franchise tag deadline. If he doesn't get it, then what? But it's just, is there no other teams in the NFL? Oh, wait, there's the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson and potential landing spots, and they say he's going to Chicago. But then his agent came out on the weekend and said he doesn't want to be traded at all, and it's like, where's this coming from? This, to me, Justin Dunk and I argue over what fake news is. He thinks fake news is misleading, wrong, false news. I think fake news is a column and talk because there's nothing else to talk about. That's fake news. I'm not saying he's right and I'm wrong, or I'm wrong and he's right, but it's just a lot of fake news going on around in the NFL right now.
Yeah, there is. You know, I'm watching Good Morning Football this morning on the NFL Network, and they're talking about what would Russell Wilson do to the Chicago Bears? How would he impact that team? Because it's one of the possible destinations if he were to be traded. Well, he's not being traded yet. But it's content, right? Can they fill content? And we know sports fans like to speculate. What would it be like if Connor McDavid was on my team? And how would our lines change? And all that has zero impact on the game. It's never going to happen. But we'd love to dream about what it would look like, where he would slot in on our team's lineup.
Hey, well, look at this. How about that? We could talk NFL every day for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Dan, the situation Saravelli is watching in Philadelphia right now from the Enterprise Sports Podcast, and he says Philly would be on suicide watch if Russell Wilson went to Dallas. Reason being is Eagles fans might think that all the Cowboys, America's team, is missing is a quarterback in Russell Wilson. As the Cowboys fan in the house, you can't overcome bad coaching. And that's what they have. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is, but I certainly respect your angst as an Eagles fan. I don't think he's going anywhere anyways. Moving on, point 3, massive sports Sunday. Bryson DeChambeau wins the PGA Tour. I noticed all the tweets yesterday. I was out for lunch with Nugsy, and Matthew Barnaby, big golf guy. DuPont, big golf guy. Phil Gross, a friend of ours, big golf guy. You guys are all going nuts about the PGA Arnold Palmer Invitational, the final round yesterday. And I'm like, I'm missing something. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not a golf guy. Why do I care? I did tune it in, and it was somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about Bryson DeChambeau, by the way, we all have haters, right? Obviously. What's the common denominator with haters? They're losers. And I look at Bryson DeChambeau, he's a winner. Even other guys on the PGA Tour don't like him because why? He's not golfing the way you're supposed to, right? He's golfing a 370-yard drive on number 6 there over the water, which you're not supposed to do, and the crowd's going nuts, and it's making all the other golfers what? Jealous.
Yeah.
Because they can't spank the ball like that. Makes me a DeChambeau fan because of all the haters that he has.
Sticking it to him, eh? I love it. I love it.
Don't we love it?
Just give it, and his he could sense it because he had that big flex at the end after he won. It was fun, but again, why are we compelled? It's the storylines. It's the big bad bruiser of DeChambeau and how far he can hit it against Lee Westwood, who's 54, I want to say, who was really good, used to be the number 1 player in the world, and now he's back and playing really well. And so you kind of pull for that redemption story, right? Can he do it one more? And you have the storylines. We just need more storylines in sports. Tell the stories.
But that's a story that's got me watching DeChambeau. What did I know about him? I'm not a golf guy, but I knew the other guys he's like the 2021 version of Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
Walks up to the ball and gone. Right. Shooter McGavin, what do you think about Byron DeChambeau? I don't know. I was too busy winning. Ryan McCarthy is watching in Albany, New York. He says, it's not so much fake news as it is maintaining narrative and speculation for the sake of having something to talk about. ESPN does this all the time on their panel shows. Well, this goes back to the discussion we've had all show, Ryan, in Albany, and you make a great point. I was watching it, so who's the dumb one, ESPN or me? Like, I'm getting a little tired of the Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson stuff. It's just what your definition of fake news is. I guess I should Google it in the break. Maybe we'll ask Allison when she comes on after the break what she thinks fake news is. I think it's making up news for the sake of talk. That's kind of what you said. Notice all the American viewers today. The situation, Dan, Saravelli says Bryson drinks 8 protein shakes a day. Well, look at how jacked he is.
Oh, yeah.
I drink 1 pink drink a day, and look how punchy I get.
GTL, baby.
GTL?
Gym Tan Laundry. The situation?
Whoa! I didn't watch every.
Neither did I.
I didn't watch every Jersey Shore episode. Point 4, the Briar won the poll, interestingly enough. I put up a poll last night. What are you watching? Because I was just in this frenetic frenzy. What do I watch? Do I watch Briar? Do I watch Oprah? Do I watch the NHL? Do I watch the NBA All-Star Game? So I just thought, what's everybody else watching? I put it on Twitter, and the Briar won handily. Mm-hmm. Draw 7, and Saskatchewan wasn't even playing. But there was a really big game there between Cooey and Gushu last night. But I'm like, wow, bravo curling. And I tuned in. I would say I watched maybe 60 seconds of the Meghan and Harry interview with Oprah. And for a third time, I'll say I didn't need an Oprah special to tell me the royal family's screwed up. They are screwed up. Breaking news, guys. The royal family has issues. NBA All-Star Game. Wasn't big on it. Gave it a shot. The biggest question out of the NBA All-Star Game of the people that the news sources I follow this weekend was, should they even have played at all? And I'm thinking, why not? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think they should have played. It's great. I mean, I didn't watch either, but I was kind of into the social media of it. Like the LeBron Durant, the draft was kind of cool. The NHL kind of started that, didn't they? With drafting their own teams. That was really interesting. It was Damian Lillard hit the half-court shot to win the whole thing. Again, I saw this on social media, and I saw Steph Curry go 31 points around the arc in the three-point competition, making it look easy, putting on a clinic, as they say. That was really entertaining for me, but I didn't tune in to watch it. No, I was literally glued to the chair watching curling from morning till night. And flipping back and forth with golf.
Okay, we got a break. My last point is the WHL returned to play, and I'm glad that Dar is watching on YouTube. Says, question, if we get the WHL package, do we get you and Dupes on the Pats broadcast? And the answer to that is no, correct?
I believe the answer is no. You want the access package. Explore the app. Check out the tweet. Get the app.
Go to our Twitter feeds, and it's there right now. But that's the point. I don't need to be on WHL Live. This was my own personal thinking. I'm not looking to expose my play-by-play skills to anywhere outside here. I just want to be on access. I just want to call Pats games. This is where I want to be. This is my team. These are my fan base of the Pats, right? I'm not sure he has the same. You kind of look at it the same way.
I just want to be in the rink.
Yeah, I just want to be in the rink.
I don't care who's on the ice.
We both do.
We both, and that's the thing, right? We both do, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be able to call every team's game, right? They'll be playing the Pats, obviously.
Yeah.
But the app, get the app, and if you have access, get that.
And Jeff in Calgary, thank you for this. He's looked it up. He Googled it. He said fake news is intentionally false and/or misleading stories. So my definition of fake news is wrong. Justin Dunks is right. I don't mind admit that I was wrong. It's happened once before, I think, Darren. This is the second half kickoff. Allison Sandmeyer-Graves joins us next. Thanks for being along with us, everybody. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is International Women's Day. We've got breaking news as well. Access Now Television has announced the full broadcast package. And you can go to Rod Pedersen on Twitter, Darren Dupont on Twitter, or My Access. What is their? They changed their at Access Now Sports. It's there. All right. On this International Women's Day, let's go to, well, the last time we chatted with her, she was in Calgary. I got to think she's there. Allison Sandmeyer-Graves, CEO of Canadian Women and Sport. Are you in the office today, Allison?
Well, the office being my home, yes, still in Calgary, I'm in the office.
There you go. Well, happy International Women's Day. What's your day been like?
Thank you. It's been busy. Lots of good conversations, lots of scrolling through a Twitter feed that's just full of positivity and support and celebration for the contributions women are making in the sports system. So it's always a good day.
I just was scrolling Twitter, actually, and you can find Allison at A Sandmeyer on Twitter. And it was, just to kind of divert here, it was a photo of you speaking at a youth sports conference about furthering women in sport through university. So
yes.
It kind of fits in with what we're talking about today. What was that presentation all about?
Well, the university system is a major part of the Canadian landscape, as I'm sure you know. It's for many, it's the peak of their athletic career, and for many others, it's a launching point into high performance and even pro sports. And so it's really important that we think about what's happening in that system, recognizing that often more than 50% of their student body are women, but what does that look like on the athletic side? And right now, about 75% of all the leaders, the athletic directors in that system are men. And so we're talking about how do we start to move the needle on this and get more women into leadership positions, into coaching, and make sure that system is there to support the female athletes.
Well, how long ago, I don't know when that tweet was. Like, do you do that presentation regularly? How long ago was that conference that you spoke at? Do you remember roughly?
I think that was probably a couple of years ago, but we're out speaking to groups like that all the time, really with the idea of helping to make sure that they've got the best knowledge at hand, all the great stats and data that we can bring to the table, really working on their motivation and their commitment to this work, but then also bringing solutions. So people don't have to start with a blank sheet of paper and try to figure this out on their own. There's so much work that's been done and so many best practices and examples of what's happening out there in the sports system that can just help us accelerate the pace of change.
The reason I ask was I work as an advocate for mental health and substance abuse prevention. And sometimes I sit back and just go with my mentor, who's incidentally my counselor as well, and just say, are we making a difference? Because sometimes some idiot will make some comment and just set us back, 10, 20 years. And he always says, no, we are. How about this movement that we're talking about today? Do you feel that the movement's making a difference?
Well, it's interesting. This International Women's Day, we're actually reflecting on 40 years of work, the now known Canadian women in sport. And I don't think it'll come as a surprise to you that this topic wasn't quite as popular 40 years ago in 1981. So there's no doubt that there's been a tremendous advancement, but I would say a lot of that has been pretty recent. A lot of the recommendations that Canadian Women in Sport has been putting forward are the same as they were back in the 80s. So the solutions haven't changed. What's changed is people's willingness to act on them and commitment to really seeing inclusion move forward for women and girls. So I'm optimistic. I think we're seeing a lot of really positive signs of change. People are doing the work. But it's a big system and it's a big issue. It's going to take time and a lot of perseverance, well beyond International Women's Day.
Well, the movement's probably had more movement in the last 5 to 10 years than the prior 30 before that, I would think. But what do you think when you see an NFL referee that's female, or an assistant coach, or an NHL broadcaster, that's the world that I see all the time. You're maybe watching another world, but when you see sort of a groundbreaking hire like that, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I think it's a great positive sign of progress. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I think so much of this movement is about getting people to recognize the contributions that women are making and can make to sport, and really valuing and respecting what they bring to the table. So when you see, major franchises betting on women and bringing them in various roles, I think that is a very powerful signal to the rest of the system of exactly that women have a major contribution to make. What we want to avoid is thinking that our jobs are done when that one woman breaks through. Because what we're really looking at is how do we transform the system overall so that it becomes entirely normal that there are women leading in pro sports and pro men's sports. And then how do we also build the women's side so that the players and the coaches and what have you have similar opportunities on that side as well?
Well, you obviously don't just wave a wand or wiggle your nose and get to that spot. So how do you, is that what you're working on every day? What's your role in this, and what have you identified as the way to keep this pedal to the metal?
Yeah, it's not glamorous. It's culture change. It's changing organizations. We've been really, really fortunate to work over the last year alone with more than 20 national sport organizations. So these are the ones with running our national teams in Canada. And working with them on their policies, meeting with their staff, doing training, helping them develop action plans to move this forward, and really to start to to tear down some of the barriers that exist within our sport organizations that end up being those brick walls for women, or those glass ceilings for women as we know them. So there's a lot of work happening behind the scenes that we haven't yet seen manifest publicly yet, but it's that heavy lifting, I think, that really is going to change the landscape of opportunities for women in sport. And ultimately our goal is to have equity or parity for women in every area of sport, and especially for girls, and knowing what sport does for them.
For sure. Is there anything else before we let you go that you'd like to get off your chest on this topic?
Well, if people want to be part of this work, they can join us at womeninsport.ca, and of course follow us on Twitter, which is womenandsportca. There's a role for everyone in this, whether you're a parent, a fan, small business, what have you. Everybody has a contribution that they can make to this. Again, it's not just today, March 8th, it's every day. So show up and bet on women.
Exactly. All right, Allison. Good to see you again. You haven't lost that smile. Stay safe out there, and hopefully we get a chance to meet face-to-face sooner than later. But until then, stay safe.
All right, same to you.
All right, Allison joining us from Calgary, CEO of Canadian Women in Sport, Sandmeyer-Graves. And it's an interesting talk here today on International Women's Day. To some of the comments here, I guess we could start viewer takeover early. Roger in Calgary's watching, and he says, it's too bad both the Scotties and Briar are here in Calgary, but I can't go watch live, although the games have been awesome on TSN. Great caliber of talent. Also following your pink drink success, Roddy. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I just went for lunch on Saturday at Famoso, the restaurant that we used to own, with my good friend Whiter, and he's on this pink drink, and it's supposed to be energy, and it's supposed to be weight loss. I told you that my doctor in Texas told me to lose 30 pounds. I've actually gained 5 since he told me that. It was right before the pandemic hit that he told me that.
The fact that you've only gained 5 pounds during the pandemic
is just shocking.
It's shocking. I've gained weight too, and it's just like, yeah, it's easy to do though. It's easy to put it on, hard to take it off. But I hope the pink. You let me know if the pink drink works.
Sure,
because I might get on it.
But here's the thing: he gave me. Remember those old pixie sticks that you cut the end off and it's powder?
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. You put it in water, but there was no instructions, right? That's all coming in the mail. He's like, here's 4 and then put down your credit card and you can order more. Well, dumb move. I pounded the first one just before I went to bed on Saturday night. Laid awake till 1 in the morning. I went to bed at 10. Dumb. Energy drink. I never said I was the smartest guy, okay? So the last couple of days I've been taking it, but I'm also working out too. But well, here it is, Jason in Red Deer. Care to share what the pink drink is, Rod? That's what it is. Energy, weight loss. What else do you need in life?
That's it.
But the company is Plexus Worldwide. But listen, they're making me pay for it, so I'm not going to give them any more of a commercial here than that. They can buy ads here. So I'm saying, Roger, don't go by me. The only thing was I got a little punchy here on the show today, and the guys were like, what's changed in you since Friday? I'm like, it's the pink drink. More energy.
Yeah.
I don't really need more energy. It's the weight loss thing that I'm interested in. I got to get into some suits here to broadcast hockey.
That's right.
Beginning Friday night.
Got a week.
Less than.
Drink the drink, step on the scale. I haven't lost any weight yet. Exactly. Drink another one.
Chris Bird's watching in Toronto. Says, please give us that Twitter handle again. At Women in Sport CA. There you go, Chris in Toronto. Interesting with the curling. I was thinking about this morning as I was pounding away on the Bowflex Max, how people in Canada really love their curling. And I feel very fortunate to have grown up playing curling. And the furthest that I ever went was we lost out in regionals in high school. But at least I know the game. I think that's the biggest reason why I'm not a soccer guy, other than it's a little slow, but I don't know the game. I don't know the strategy. I mean, if you didn't know how to count rocks, you would be completely lost.
Oh, yeah. Because and it's funny, and I'm watching it with my mom. And we watched curling together for years. But if you're not watching it with somebody who knows curling, it's frustrating because you got 6, 7, 8, 9 rocks in the house, and you're like, oh yeah, he's going to do this and this, and then somebody else. You literally have to pause the TV, get out a marker, and start making your own telestrator on the screen if somebody doesn't know what's going on. And if you can't count rocks.
Yeah.
But if you can, it's like speaking another language, and it's so easy and fluid. You can just be like, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, and you understand the strategy, and it's easy to follow along.
I really appreciate some of these comments that have come in, and they're what I say. Our viewers are smart people and listeners. Regarding my comment earlier about the NFL fake news, Randy is watching in Strasbourg. He texts from the 725 on the Prairie Mobile text line. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Randy says, fake news or real news, people are still talking about the NFL. You got me, Randy. You got me. The NFL's got it figured out. The 12-month news cycle, the 365 a day a year news cycle. He makes a great point, doesn't he? Still talking NFL.
Yeah.
Still selling jerseys, man. Am I going to buy a new Dak Elliott jersey, or am I going to buy a Russell Wilson Cowboys jersey? I got to make these decisions. In the meantime, we're not talking about this Canadian league, this Canadian sport. Yes, you got me. I fell for my own, but speaking of falling for it, this is the one thing. I don't argue pandemic stuff anymore. Because here's my thing. I don't know if you read my 10 Things column on the weekend, but I said I can't believe how gullible people are.
Yeah.
Some people are, but I really meant a lot of people. I'm just so unbelievably skeptical of what I hear in the news media, primarily because I've seen leaders stand at a podium or in front of a microphone and lie right through their teeth. I'm very, very, very skeptical of what I hear. And not just in sports, but in the news cycle, the scientists that are being paid by government. I'm just skeptical. And I know for a fact that the vast, vast, whopping majority, like 80 to 90% of society, just wants to believe what they hear. They got enough stuff going on in their own lives. Just tell me the truth on the news. They're trusting the source coming out of their television set or out of their screen. And I'm like, I don't. Because I've seen the other side. But my God, to get in a holy war over maybe just questioning the science, or why are we being told to do this? That's all. But I'm not interested in fighting anymore. Clearly not interested.
Not worth it.
What's it for? What? We've been on the air every day. We haven't missed a day, and thank God for that. But my whole thing is the people in sports that are being forced to sit on the sidelines in Canada while we're watching in America. Come on. The Arnold Palmer Classic with DeChambeau just ripping it. There were crowds there, Darren. Did you notice? They were packed in like sardines under the tent. Science different there? And I don't know why I'm going down this road right now other than I'm just highly skeptical because I've seen leaders lie. And people want to believe what they hear, and you're not getting the truth all the time. That's all. Do you have a point on this before I read some viewer comments? Or
no, it's just, I hope it's a sign that we're going to start opening up. And everybody was wearing masks at the tournament. There might have been a couple people that weren't wearing masks. But, you see the crowd shots. Everyone's got a mask on. I think that's what it's going to look like, at least the next step of getting us back to playing. If we're talking about football fields, right? Wear your mask into the stadium. If you're walking anywhere, you got to wear a mask. And when you sit down and eat your nachos, take it off. And
yes.
Let's hope that that's where we're going.
Well, we hope, but I'm not sure that we are. But Jason more from Jason and Red Deer says, like Rod says, when asked what the NFL fan base talks about in the offseason, they talk about the NFL. This is why I enjoy having this coffee conversation that we can all bring our opinions to the table, because I guess my point is I'm down with talking NFL, but is there not 2 more stories in the NFL than Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott? That's my point. I'm getting really tired of the same guys talking about the same thing with zero conclusion to this story. I'm just getting tired of it. Can we talk about something else in the National Football League? Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No, for sure. on a daily basis. It's literally like building up. Oh, he's going to maybe go to Chicago, and he's maybe going to do this. And Dak might sign, and at the end of the movie, they leave you with, okay, but what happened? Is it going to happen? Is it, so you hope you get to the end of the story, and we can figure out where these guys are going to go. With Dak, we'll find out really soon.
Tomorrow, maybe. Before we break, this last one from Armando in Mexico City, Armando Moreno. The CFL was really talked about this weekend in Mexico. I would say, how would we know? We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, Facebook and YouTube Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash, 24 hours sports talk at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Direct West provides us with stats and analytics, and it's amazing for us to look and see that, each year we're 10 to 20% higher on our Google leads. It's great to see the success that our locations are having. The Direct West app gives us an opportunity to be in one place for people to find any of our locations or our commodities. Without Direct West, we would have to be in multiple digital places. I would recommend Direct West. They're great to work with.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait, do it right now. Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We got a sports update coming up here. Breaking news today. Very excited here in these parts in the sweatpants capital. Friday night, when the Western Hockey League's East Division season begins, when God's team, the Regina Pats, face off against the Prince Albert Raiders at 8 p.m., under the orange top at the Brand Center. Darren and I will be calling the game on Access Television to into the hundreds of thousands of viewers, I believe. Chuba Hubbard's watching, one of our sponsors here from Great Western, says if you don't have Access cable, you will have to buy the streaming service for $60. Pat's season ticket holders get it for $20. So thank you, Chuba, for pointing that out.
But Access has the app now. So you should be able to get that as well. The links are in the tweets. Check it out.
There you go. Such a 2021 phrase there. The links are in the tweets. Come on, figure it out.
Come on.
Well, this is interesting. So we're talking about the NFL, maybe talking about fake news or made-up news or whatever, but at least we're talking about the NFL, was what one of the viewers said. So they had, was it this weekend that they had their combines in Mexico? I had a Google alert sent to me. I didn't read it. I saw it was like 2 combines. Was it like Monterrey and Mexico City or something? I didn't read it. Wayne in Victoria says, Armando, wow, the CFL is pushing the global initiative in Mexico, yet we're not sure if we're even playing a full season this year. Armando says, not only here, Italy was slated for this weekend too. CFL Global Combines are taking place in many places around the globe. And Rick Hagland, viewer, says the only useful discussion about the CFL last summer was the Sim League. Sorry, Randy. No one hung on your uncertain and infrequent words. And James in Borden, Manitoba says, my Manitoba Moose play the Heat tonight in Winnipeg. They are on a 2-game winning streak. So, do you have a take on that before I read the sports update?
What, the Moose on a heater?
No, the fact that the CFL is holding combines.
No, of course. I do. I think it's good. I think they need to keep pushing that. I do. I think that's going to create more popularity, more eyeballs on it. And you need to understand something. By putting on Mexican combines, Italian combines, Swedish combines, Japanese combines, whatever they're doing, it's not taking anything away from the effort back home to get the product on the field. It's not like they're doing that while they could be doing this. It's somebody else that's their job that would never be working on the return to play plan here.
I know, but the director of global scouting for the CFL, Greg Quick, resigned to take a coaching job with, was it the Alouettes he went back to? Greg Quick. So you don't have a global scouting career. It just seems like, from the outside, because I'm clearly not on the inside, that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. And it's who's conducting these camps, where's the media coverage, where's the video, did somebody go from Canada to Mexico, are we supposed to travel, are we not supposed to travel, are they isolating for 14 days when they come back in, are they going to a hotel and paying $2,000 for 3 days, what the hell's going on here? And I guess more than anything, it's not just my mom business, and I'm calling hockey Friday night, and right?
Yeah.
Josh Elliott, viewer, says 90% of NFL news and rumors is BS. It's all smoke screens, Rod. Smoke screens. Well, I work in the business, bruh. I know. It's just funny how in the National Football League, the teams are stirring it up themselves. Whereas in Canada, you try and do that, and they want to cut your head off. I don't get it. Nor does Dunk.
I know.
We've talked about it. Anyway, sports update. The Wayne Middaugh-led Wildcard 3 team hopes to earn its 3rd win at the Brier later this afternoon. The team will play against Brendan Botcher's Alberta squad. Middaugh has been filling in for Glenn Howard as he recovers from sore ribs in a snowmobile accident. That's 2:30 p.m. Central. 4 Canadian NHL teams are in action tonight. The Edmonton Oilers and the Ottawa Senators will meet in the evening. Ottawa's coming off a shootout win over the Calgary Flames. The Montreal Canadiens will meet the Vancouver Canucks in the nightcap. Do you know I was reprimanded for trying to put the Rough Riders on the air in the offseason? Did you know that? That just popped into my head. Just in case any of you are wondering, what is he talking about? They don't want you talking about the league year-round.
Yeah.
That happened. Eventually, you just go, Team LeBron got the better of Team Durant in Sunday's NBA All-Star game. Giannis Antetokounmpo won All-Star Game MVP. Steph Curry won the three-point contest, while Knicks forward Obi Toppin won the slam dunk contest. Here you go, Darren, because you're such a big race fan. Kyle Larson is back in NASCAR, and he's back in the victory lane. On Sunday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Larson raced to his first NASCAR victory since he was reinstated from a nearly year-long suspension. He ran just the first 4 races last season and then lost his job for using a racial slur while playing a video game early in the pandemic. First guy to congratulate him yesterday, Bubba Wallace.
Okay. I'm into it because of the Netflix show now with our pal Kim Coates, The Crew.
Have you been watching The Crew?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's great.
It's a very funny show about NASCAR starring Kevin James from Hitch.
Yeah.
Paul Blart.
And Coates has a one episode.
Kim Coates has a 1 episode, not even a cameo. Like it's all about him, but for 1 episode. Very funny. It was a third-place finish for Canadian Corey Connors at the Arnold Palmer Invitational in Orlando. The 29-year-old from Listowel, Ontario, was tied for the lead during the 4th and final round, but ended up 2 over for the day. That left Connors 3 shots behind winner Bryson DeChambeau of the U.S. A military friend of mine, you've met him, retired Sergeant Major Brad Hersina. He's a golf partner of mine. He wrote me yesterday, and he said he sees some similarities between my game and Corey Connors.
What?
Yeah, we're both right-handed. Funny guy, that Sergeant Major. Brooke Henderson of Smiths Falls, Ontario, finished in a tie for 44th place at the LPGA's Drive On Championship in Florida.
I got bid on that. I can't believe it. I bid.
Did you ever? This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers in Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. By the way, if you're thinking about going out for supper, ordering in, think of The Tap, home of Vern's Pizza, and they do Sports on Tap every day here on the RP Show. Here's what we got tonight, Dupe. Sports on Tap, 6 games, okay?
All right.
Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights at Minnesota, Ottawa at Edmonton, Arizona at Colorado, St. Louis at San Jose, LA at Anaheim, Montreal at Vancouver. In the majors, the Blue Jays are off. In the NBA, they're still on the All-Star break. And in Draw 8 at the Briar, 2:30 Central this afternoon, BC against UConn. Team Alberta versus Wildcard 3. That's Glenn Howard, as I mentioned, or being skipped by Wayne Middaugh. Northern Ontario versus New Brunswick, and Manitoba against Team Wildcard 1. We'll be back. You tell us what you'd like us to face off about. Think about it in the break and let us know. Viewer Takeover Overtime coming up next. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It is OT. We've got 6 minutes until the top of the hour here, and the face-off is coming up. Going to read some topics here as well, or the poll question. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to update it here. But Don Muir is watching in Manitoba. He says, if you want to see men and women competing together side by side and head to head, check out NHRA this weekend as they start their season with the Gator Nationals in Florida this weekend. Okay. The poll question is, who will finish better after their coaching change, the Flames or the Montreal Canadiens? Poll questions for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, and 64% on Twitter saying the Habs will finish higher than Calgary, do better than the Flames. We're probably going to come back on that. That's Twitter, and on Facebook, 52%, a lot closer to 50-50. We got a little off track here today. Chris Bird in Toronto, great guy, watches the show every day. He says, face-off topic, are women turning the corner in professional sports coverage, or are they still a long ways from getting the coverage they need? I think we've talked enough about that today. We got off the topic of what we normally do to help out with a movement, which is women in sport. But I want to get back on topic here. Larry Dye in Medicine Hat says, when is the CFL cutting you a check for doing some of their marketing? I don't know, and I don't care anymore. I thought I made that clear.
Yeah.
Armando in Mexico City says, that's correct. Canadian staff only joined the combines using Zoom virtual meetings. So I don't know. Is there going to be coverage somewhere in this country about who was the strongest Mexican player, who had the best vertical, who had the strongest? Why would I care?
Why would we want to do that? Right?
We didn't even know. Thank God for Armando in Mexico City that this even went on.
Yeah.
Greg Klevgard, viewer, says the WHL's Oil Kings look great. Look good. One strong team. We're lucky they're not in the East Bubble. Prince Albert should be the team. Well, we're not. You know what? We're never going to know because there's not going to be an interprovincial playoff. I don't think there's going to be.
I don't either.
Maybe there will be. Maybe there will be in the East Division when they announce the Ballers Cup. I think they should sell the name of the trophy. That's what we're going to face off about. Not about who's going to finish higher, Montreal or Calgary. The Mad Greek Cup. We're probably both going to agree on this, though. They should sell sponsorship of the trophy for the East Division, the Central Division, the BC Division, and the U.S. Division. All 4 of them, sell it. Make a little money here because God knows they need it. You're going to agree.
How much? And can I buy it? That's where my mind's going.
It's not a yes or a no.
It's how much and can I buy it? What if I just make the trophy? If I get it fabricated and done up, I could do 4 of them. They play for the DuPont Media Cup. Oh, it's hot. Anyway,
that's coming out of your pocket, not mine, by the way, just so you know.
What if it's the Rod Pedersen Show Cup?
That's different.
Now we can split it. I'm in. Actually, it's the Rod Pedersen Show Cup presented by DuPont Media. There. We solved the problem.
Can we get a quote? You're watching WHL. Can we get a quote? Seriously, though, I think they should sell sponsorship of it. Why wouldn't they? We did the poll the last university sports season when they play between these two teams. The Huskies and the Rams play every year, sometimes once, sometimes twice. Mm-hmm. You can call it, we call that the Wheat Bowl. There was no sponsorship on that. They should be selling sponsorship. The question is how much. Maybe we should be debating that with the viewers. Hell yeah. The Applebee's Bowl. Again, Alan Miller of the Warriors did announce that he teased. He didn't announce anything. He teased there would be a cup announced by the Western Hockey League. So I hope that they do. Yeah. But as you know, the Face-Off Daily is brought to you by the Ultimate Fan Zone, your one-stop shop for the sports fans on your list. Visit the Man Cave, downtown Moose Jaw, or on Facebook. I don't think you can get Pat's gear there, but if you want Warriors gear, you're in luck. Golf shirts, pullovers, sweaters. And the Mad Greek in Moose Jaw, available for licensed dining, takeout, or delivery. Head to themadgreekeatery.com for more information. We're sitting here talking WHL every dang day. And it feels so great. Thank you, Armando and Moreno. Don't tell me about marketing for the CFL. This guy's doing it. Gracias, señor. How do you say marketing in Mexican? Spanish. W-I-N. It's the same in every sport. Every language. Sorry.
C.
How do you spell marketing in Spanish? C. Ricardo, Ticats fan, says we can't even have that conversation in Ontario. Oh, about restaurants? About what? We're out of time. Tomorrow, Leo Routens and our good friend Julie Stewart-Binks. Of all the women that I put in that mural that we put up on our social, she's my longest and closest friend. She's coming on tomorrow. Where's my pen? See you tomorrow.